Afternoon, everybody. We'll leave the door open so any colleagues that are racing in at the last minute can join us. Thank you again for giving up your Friday lunchtime. For anybody who doesn't know me, I'm Cathy Smith. I'm Kaizen Promotion Office Lead, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to our latest Transforming Care report out. I've seen a little crowd gathering at Telford, and if Carla would be so good to check that they can hear and see us. Give us a wave. Yeah, fantastic. Welcome, everybody. So let's start. The KPO team, as you know, Kaizen Promotion Office, is responsible for implementing our Transforming Care production system, and we're supported in this journey by the Virginia Mason Institute in Seattle. And I'm delighted that we've had Rosemary King, she wants to wave, transformational sensei that I think many of you have now had the opportunity to meet. And Rosemary's been with us for the last 2 weeks. And these 2 weeks have been a really significant time in our journey. We've had 3 more of our senior leaders, Deirdre Fowler, Alan Jackson, I saw Alan come in, and I don't know whether Tony Fox is across over at Telford. If he isn't yet, he will be. They've completed their advanced lean training, which, similar to lean leaders, gives them the experience of the methodology. They apply it to their own areas, but also they gain competencies in being able to teach this. So at a stage very near us, very soon, you'll see them with their teams as they help support RPIWs in the future. So they've been putting those tools to good use, and one of the pieces of work that will stay with me for quite a while was the to test or not to test for C. diff. I'm not going to look at Alan because he'll make me laugh. And who knew that the answer was only test if you can suck the specimen up in a very mini turkey baster. So it's surprising what you learn in a week at work. But the serious side of this was that Alan and his team were able to reduce the testing by over 60%, which obviously takes out the waste, the cost from our processes, means that our staff and patients are not wasting their time waiting for a test that wasn't necessary, and we remove that anxiety from patients who think, have I got this awful thing I've read about, C. diff? So really, really important work. So with the help of those latest recruits to ALT, our Lean for Leaders and our other ALT graduates, we're going to be in a position this year to run over 20 RPIWs, so 20 workshops, and that number actually is going up every day. I think it might be 24. I'm looking at Nick because you think he's adding a few as well as offering the Transforming Care methodology training, the 5S, which is spread virtually to every ward now and many of our departments. And Rach, I think we're at about 44 new Lean for Leaders ready to start their training next month. There's a few places left. If you haven't told Rach you're definitely coming, then let her know as soon as possible. So lots of mile steps. And another one in our journey is that Marie Claire this week has gained her accreditation as workshop lead. So she'll be role modelling a report out very shortly with the team, and we'll also be hearing from 2 of our previous RPIWs as well, because that's how is it being implemented, how have we maintained those improvements that have taken a team the week to test and try and develop with the home team, how have we maintained those in other areas. So I'm going to let the team come and tell you all about their work. Rosemary will share her reflections, and then Deirdre Fowler will conclude the day with some reflections and certificates at the end.
Good afternoon and welcome to the report out for this week's Rapid Process Improvement Workshop. We'll be reporting out to a cycle time of 15 minutes. My name's Mary-Claire Wigley, Kaizen Promotion Office Specialist, and it's been my pleasure to be the workshop lead this week for this RPIW. The RPIW has been for the recruitment value stream, focusing on the time between when the manager is notified of a new member of staff to when the staff member starts on the ward. The Gemba was SAU here at RSH, and our team assembled to work on this RPIW includes staff from IT, facilities, outpatients, finance, recruitment and SAU. This fabulous team have used 5S, setup reduction, level production and mistake proofing to address the defects and wastes in the process. I will now hand you over to them so they can share their story.
Hello, I'm Louise Brennan. I'm a Kaizen Promotion Office Specialist and I was the team lead for this RPIW. The target progress report details 8 baseline metrics for this RPIW. The current state lead time is from when an SAU manager is informed of a new member of staff starting in their area to the day that that member of staff starts in our organisation is 42 days. The target set by our sponsor Helen Jenkinson is to reduce this to 30 days. 4 quality defect metrics were identified, and these are: the percentage of times a new staff member starts on SAU without IT access was 43%. 29% of SAU starters have had delay in receiving manual handling training, and when staff on SAU were questioned how they felt on their first day, 57% gave a negative or neutral response. 57% of staff on SAU also stated they felt unprepared on their first day. All these quality defect metrics have a target of 0%. A delay in accessing induction and mandatory training means that 0.1 full-time equivalent is released from the staffing allocation per month, and the target is to reduce this to 0. The 5S baseline for the local induction checklist is at level 1 with a target of level 4, and the setup time to complete the documentation in this process is 20 minutes with a target of 9 minutes or less. The TAC time or pace of work for the boundaries of this RPIW is a total operating time of 20 working days divided by the monthly demand of 2 new starters in SAU, so this gives a TAC time of 10 working days. The value stream map shows the cycles of activity within the process and who is involved. The weights and delays can be seen between these, and the Kaizen burst showed the opportunities for improvement. The process flowchart shows the information flow. The red and yellow lines show the weights and delays in the process, and the pink post-its identify the wastes. The WAY team are now going to tell you about the Kaizen work they have been doing this week.
Hello, my name is Nikesh. I'm a finance trainee. During the RPIW, many problems were identified. One was that recruits were not clear about the recruitment pathway, which left them feeling unprepared for their first day. A second was that some of the new recruits were unsure of how to use some of the systems in the trust, such as SemaHelix. To solve the first problem, we mapped the recruitment process and created a simple pathway from the recruitment day to their first day with the trust. To help with the new systems, we identified training guides in hard-to-reach places on the intranet and added them to the learning directory for easy access and visibility. To test our solution, we gave new staff at the trust their new starter pathway. The feedback was that this made them all feel more prepared and confident for their first day. With the training guides now more visible and easily available, we hope that staff will find these useful and feel more confident about using some of the systems in their everyday work. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Yvonne and I'm an IT administrator. The problem identified was that new staff starting in the trust did not have their IT passwords. There was an assumption that IT password forms had to have an exact start date on them and had to be sent by post. The ideas to solve the problem were to highlight on the IT form that it is possible to scan an email to IT with an approximate start date. A form has also been developed for trial to use by recruitment to remove the step in the process where ward managers had to select specific access for their staff. We tested the new form with ward managers and recruitment who gave positive feedback. The result is that 2 steps in the process have been removed, and the form for new ward staff will be sent straight to IT from recruitment as shown in the standard worksheet. This improvement means that ward staff will have their passwords on day 1 in SATH.
Hello, my name is Kelly. I'm a healthcare assistant in outpatients.
So the problem I was presented with was new staff were starting on SAU and did not have all the written information they needed about the ward or their first day. The idea the team came up with was to create an information pack for new starters with relevant information to help them on their first day. The pack includes a map and some useful phone numbers of the ward. We tested the new starter pack with nurses, healthcare assistants and non-clinical staff. In several areas we asked staff who had recently started and who had worked in the trust for longer. The response to the pack has been extremely positive, with the agreement that the pack will make new starters feel more valued, confident on their first day.
Hello, I'm Emma Salvoni. I'm the ward manager of SAU and the process owner of this RPIW. There was a lot of variation in the preparation for the new staff members' first day. The induction checklist was lengthy and there were different variations. It was unclear which parts recruitment covered and which parts the ward manager covered. We did 5S of the induction checklist and this has now been simplified, and the initial meet and greet of the staff member has been incorporated. We have now achieved a 5S level 2 on the form. A standard process description form has been completed to standardise this task. This has also been adapted for non-clinical staff. We simulated an initial meet and greet between a matron and a new staff member in the event that the ward manager is unavailable. The SPD was utilised throughout this. All the educational aids and policies that are given to new starters have been compiled in a pack, and this is given on this day. Although the amount of time taken for the meet and greet did not alter, this standard work ensured all aspects of vital information were communicated to the new staff member. This process has been shared with other ward managers who are keen to trial this.
Hello, my name's Corinne and I'm a recruitment administrator. We found that the folder used to order uniform contained duplicate and out-of-date documents, making it hard to find codes. Also, if uniform was late or didn't fit, there was no spare stock for the new member of staff. We 5S'd the folder to sort what documents were needed, swept away unneeded forms, and simplified the folder by adding visual aids such as an index and folder tabs. We also looked at ordering spare stock to store in SAU. The housekeeper sat down with us to 5Y the folder and was happy with the order and the new visual uniform codes. We also simulated ordering a uniform using a new folder. The standard work combination sheet shows it took the housekeeper 18 minutes to order uniform. However, the folder now makes it easier to find codes, reducing the time to just 8 minutes. We also achieved a 5S level 2 on the folder. Going forward, we will look at ordering spare uniform for SAU and implement a Kanban system for replacing stock.
Hi, my name's Sue. I'm the Facility Secretary. It was identified that new starters felt unprepared for their first day. They didn't know where to park, who they should report to, what time to start, or where they should be meeting their new manager. As a result of this, staff didn't feel valued or welcomed into the trust. To resolve this, we created a new starter booklet, which includes their first day arrangements, manager details, maps of both sites, and frequently asked questions. This booklet will be given out by the recruiting manager when they come in for an informal meeting prior to their start date. To see if this booklet would make any candidates feel more prepared and welcome, we asked a selection of new starters an experience-based design questionnaire. We also needed to make sure that the new booklet was mistake-proof. The feedback we received from new starters is that the booklet was very helpful and they felt more prepared. It would also take away some of their first day worries and they would feel more welcomed and valued into the trust.
I've had a great week supporting the away team. The team were initially quiet on Monday, but then they have soon bonded and been having breakfast and lunch together and having lots of fun. An RPIW is an opportunity to give staff the headspace to implement improvements, but also an opportunity for staff to develop confidence and new relationships with people. I heard a few times this week how nice it is to put a face to an email name. The TPR final measurements have improved and making progress to achieve the targets set by our sponsor. Although the lead time has not been remeasured this week, cycle times within the process have improved. IT access request is now completed in the first cycle of the process and other paperwork within the process is completed at a much earlier stage. The lead time will be remeasured over the next 3 months for any new starters on SAU. 3 of the quality defects have improved by 100% with the introduction of the revised IT request form, the new starter pathway and the new employee information booklet. Highlighting within the new information, the new starter information manual, training that can be transferred using a Welsh passport should help reduce the percentage of staff not completing manual handling within the 3-month target. The 5S of the local induction paperwork is now at level 2 and the 5S of the housekeeper folder is also at level 2. The set-up time to complete the documentation is less than a minute as work is shared with other operators within the process. The team have created new standard work for the revised process and these will be measured through implementation metrics.
The value stream map shows that the improvements made during this RPIW have addressed a lot of the Kaizen bursts. The distribution of the tasks between the operators has reduced the quality defects and the cycles of activity have been moved to the beginning of the process. The future state process chart shows waits and delays in the process have been reduced and that waste has been removed for each of the process steps. The home team this week have been great supporters in making this happen. The team have linked in with many other areas for feedback, which has helped the away team PDSA the improvements at pace this week. As process owner, over the next 30 days, I will complete the items on the newspaper and continue to PDSA the improvements. I look forward to sharing the results with you over the next 3 months.
The individuals in the away team this week were drawn from different areas across the Trust. They all previously worked hard on their part of the process of preparing a new member of staff to join the Trust without understanding what happens in other departments. However, this week they have had the chance to learn how others in the process work and it has been a revelation. Lesson learned this week is that we can be working in silos without realising, but when we engage in open communication, have a shared goal and encourage curious questioning, the results, as you can see, are fantastic. It isn't easy, and as one of the team noted this week, working outside of the box is really tiring. The Transforming Care production system guided the team towards their shared goal of providing a better prepared, more informative and kinder experience for our colleagues who are just starting their journey in our organisation. The away team this week have been a delight to work with. Their enthusiasm and pace has been impressive. They have really bonded as a team and I am sure that the links they have made this week will continue long after the RPIW. We have many people to thank this week. The home team on SAU have been so responsive and along with a number of other wards, the recruitment team and the corporate education team, they have been welcoming the away team, giving their feedback. We also need to say a special thank you to Sally from WebDev and IT for their help as well. Thank you to Louise for being a wonderful team lead this week, sharing her knowledge and supporting both the team and me. Finally, thank you to Helen, our sponsor, for setting challenging targets and offering her support this week to the team.
Wow, what a week. So we spent a lot of time together, a lot of biscuits, a lot of cake, a lot of coffee, so it's all great for me. So one of the things that we did this week was I couldn't believe how fast we could work as a team, and what the relationships between the people that started that first day, that sat around a table and didn't speak to each other on the first at 8:30 on Monday morning was quite remarkable. I really came away worrying. I thought, oh, are they going to work together? Are they going to speak to each other? I cannot believe when I came, Kathy said you will come on Tuesday and there will be a difference. There was a remarkable difference on Tuesday. And the relationships, although it's obvious what we've done, and most people would say it's obvious to cut down some of the times, which we have proved and delivered, I think what was really, really fantastic was to see the relationships building up, because even though we've got a methodology now that I am fully committed to the methodology that we're using, one of the things that one of the things that I found remarkable was how we work as relationships. It has to work in relationships. So we have to see people down the corridor and wave to them and say they're the people that are going to help me. I can't tell you how helpful this is going to be for nursing and HCAs to speed up that recruitment, to shake their hand when they come in and to welcome into the families of the staff and for them to stay once they're recruited with us. This is a real step forward and there's a lot more work that's fell out of this week that we need to improve on. So thank you to the team. Thank you to Kathy for support that she gave me this week for being the sponsor, and let's continue to make it a really good relationship we have with our new starters. Thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm so sorry I was 10 minutes late. I couldn't run across the site quick enough. I started with the recruitment team sitting there on Monday, and I'm going to reiterate the same thing that I said to you on Monday. For every one of us in this room, if Victoria was here, and I'll echo her words, the recruitment value stream is the only value stream that touches every single one of us, every single staff group, and can be spread far and wide really quickly. So what you guys have done today within the week with SAU will be rolled out really quickly across the business here, which will help everybody who's new to us feel really valued and welcome into team staff. So thank you so much for your commitment. You're a small but beautifully formed team, and we said to go and challenge, and you've challenged, and the bits that I saw there will they're just great. So thank you very much, and thank you all for coming.
We're going to change focus to the respiratory discharge value stream.
Hi, my name is Emma Crawford. I was the process owner for the RPOW which looked at respiratory discharge. I'm here to report the 90-day remeasures from that. Our lead time was to look at the time taken from when a patient is informed that they can go home to when they leave the ward with all of their discharge elements present. Our lead time at baseline was 276 minutes, and at 90 days we've reduced that down to 175 minutes. We're still off our target of 120 minutes, but we have managed to maintain a lower lead time compared to baseline. In terms of quality defects, we've managed to reduce our quality defects to consistently 20%. We had a target of 0%, and this is a number of discharge summaries that require rework. And I suspect we'll hit a sort of plateau with that, given that we are increasing the speed in which we're doing things, that there are sometimes last-minute changes that can affect that. In terms of patient experience, encouragingly, we are still got 100% change in our patient experience, and all patients are happy with the discharge process as it is at the moment. In terms of our nursing station and 5S, we've maintained level 4 for the nursing station, which is also really encouraging. I just want to add that the 4 PM huddle, which we do, which is where our ward manager and our junior doctors get together at 4 PM and plan the discharges for the following day so that their discharge summaries can be prepared in advance and that their transport can be readied, is really well embedded on the ward, and that's been something that's been really encouraging throughout the whole process. And the other thing I will just say is that these remeasures were done on the 28th of December, which was in between Christmas and New Year, and I think a lot of the changes that we're seeing are actually testament to the hard work of the pharmacy department, the medical team, the nursing team, in a situation where we have quite skeleton staff on the ground, and in situations where we've got quite high escalation and a number of areas that we're covering rather than just Ward 9. And that's all, thank you.
Change again to Lizzie.
Hello, my name is Lizzie and I was the process owner for the RPOW that was focusing on grading as part of the ophthalmology value stream. The boundaries for our RPOW were from my new ophthalmology referral arrives at SATH to my new ophthalmology referral has been graded and delivered to the booking office. The RPOW took place from the 6th to the 10th of November 2017, and I'm back to report on the 60-day remeasures. The idea to reduce the parts travel distance was to grade all referrals electronically and therefore no longer print out the referrals. It has not been possible to implement this moment, and therefore the steps have remained the same. I am pleased to report that the lead time has reduced by 71% to 2 days from a baseline of 14 days. The sub-lead time is currently 2 hours for paper referrals, which is a 99% improvement. The percentage of paper referrals that are on hold and have waited over 2 weeks for grading has seen a 28% improvement. The 5S that was measured on a level from 1 to 5 remained at level 2 for the medical secretarial space and at a level 3 for the store cupboard in the admin corridor. Regarding the implementation metric 2, we have seen a 100% improvement by moving the letter run to earlier in the day at 12:30. The barriers following the 60-day re-measures around electronic grading show that the consultant has been unable to proceed with this because he agreed to review the referrals if they were coming onto the system under his name as a named clinician. This would be a simple task of the consultant reviewing all that are headed Suresh Sagili, for instance. However, due to the referrals still coming through as unnamed consultants, the medical secretary still has to go through all the lists and pick out the dates of the consultants' clinics and print them off for grading. We've been working hard with Richard Gota in IT and NHS Digital, and we were informed that after querying the Exeter Help Desk, the requested consultant would be added to the request manual for update, and this should have been sorted by the 12th of January 2018. But unfortunately, as of yet, this doesn't appear to have worked, so continuous work will be done to try to overcome this issue as we continue to PDSA the process. The re-measures regarding the lead time linking to the implementation metric 2 have seen big improvements, as the run time means that they receive the referrals quicker and will therefore be returned back to the booking office in a quicker time. This is a much better for the patients, as their referrals are being dealt with much quicker. Also, regarding the paper referrals that are on hold and have waited over 2 weeks for grading, has improved due to the weekly alert that is sent from the ophthalmology coordinator to the booking team and the medical secretaries. There remains work to do on the electronic grading, but I'm really pleased that we have made some really big steps in the right direction, and I look forward to sharing the 90-day re-measures with you.
Hi, I'm Andy Scott. I was the sponsor for that RPIW. First of all, I'd like to thank Lizzie for her hard and continued work and doing the re-measures. The headline for me is that the lead time is still 71% improvement, which is fantastic. And a big thank you to the booking team, the secretaries and the consultant in that study for maintaining that. I think the sponsor team, looking forward and looking to roll this out and looking at the wider implementation, the main challenge is that we still have two systems. We have a paper system and an electronic one. We are going to be electronic by later in this year, and I think that will provide us with the opportunity to focus on the electronic system. And with that in mind, one plea for my consultant colleagues is get yourself a smart card and familiarise yourself with the electronic system. I've tried it, it's very easy, it's no harder than the paper system, and it saves your secretaries a lot of work, it's better for the patient, it saves the booking office a lot of work, and it saves clinic prep an awful lot of work. So have a go at it, and I'm probably going to be banging on about this for the rest of the year. I can see this becoming my mission. Thank you very much, Lizzie.
It's a big step.
Big step. So, congratulations to the team, congratulations to Marie-Claire and to Louise for a wonderful RPIW. Everybody worked really, really hard. The team was so enthusiastic and engaged and energized, and the ideas you came up with were just fantastic. So this is the 5th RPIW focusing on recruiting. Previous ones have focused on things like getting the job posted to the interview process, but this one focused on preparing a new staff member for their first day, keeping in mind that you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So the work this team made the improvements this team made this week will ensure that new staff feel welcomed, valued, and prepared to support their new team. So congratulations.
So, hi. I know Simon would absolutely love to be here today, but he's been really cheeky in having some annual leave. So I have the great privilege and pleasure of thanking you guys. So having listened to all of your hard work, I've just got some thoughts I'd like to share with you. I mean, first of all, what an amazing cause for celebration. So we heard from the 5th RPIW for the recruitment value stream, and as I listened to you, I was really mindful that workforce is the biggest challenge we have in SATH and indeed in the NHS, but they are also our biggest resource. And it's so important that we make them feel valued, as Rosemary said, and reduce those first day nerves. And I remember, you know, it's not too long ago since I had those first day nerves. So to hear that your Gemba SAU went from 9 whole-time equivalent vacancies to 2 in that time scale, and actually gave some and you achieved some incredible solutions from this RPIW, which will really add value to our new starters, from you know, making it simple to order a uniform and getting a form to HR quickly. That's absolutely amazing. And I thought about our value of making it happen. So absolutely incredible work to this team, and you have made it happen, so have lived the values. Then we hear from the respiratory discharge value stream, RPIW, and your 90-day remeasures. And I think one of the things I reflected upon is you really have been proud to care. So you've lived another one of our values in demonstrating that despite all the adversity, and as you alluded to, all the staff shortages, etc., you really have achieved, and this will add value to our patients and our staff. So thank you. And then we hear about ophthalmology and their 60-day remeasures. And we've heard that they've helped reduce the paper, they've maintained that. And I think it's an incredible example of Team SATH working together, the IT, the ophthalmology team, the bookings team, the records team. So guys, you have worked together, and together we achieve. So there's 3 of our values that we've heard lived today. So well done to you. And finally, just to you, Rosemary, and indeed the whole KPI team, I think we've, you know, those of us who've worked with you over the last 2 weeks and previously would honestly say that it's a privilege and a pleasure, and you make learning fun. So thank you so much, and the KPO team. I know lots of you here today are coming up to your opportunity to participate in Lean Leaders and ALT. So I absolutely guarantee you they will work you hard, but it will be worth it. So thank you very much.
The last thing we need to do is for Louise to gather her team to receive their certificates. And while they're doing that, I can remind you that we'll be back again here next Friday. Ophthalmology have another of their RPIWs next week, looking at eye injections and how we make that, makes your toes curl a little bit, doesn't it, even thinking about it, but how we make that experience better for our patients. And so they'll have some great things to tell you back here next week. Is that?
So Nikesh, well done. Well done. Yvonne? Well done. Thank you very much. Thank you. Well done, Yvonne. Ellie? Best queen. Torrance, well done, Torrance. And Sue. Well done,
So, Linda, would you like to come on up and collect the certificate?
So thank you again for coming, because that's the best way that we can share the work, and you can think about, can any of this apply to your areas, and if so, you know the people to get in touch with. So have a lovely weekend, safe journeys home. Thank you.